working of institutions. Here, the word institution does not refer to a particular group, school, or an organization. It means the government. So, therefore, it means working of government. As we all know, that the government takes all the decisions on the facilities, defense, administration. So, these all decisions should be taken in an organized way and effective. So basically, as we all know, that the government is divided into three parts: legislature, executive, and judicial. Legislature is the one who make laws. Legislature consists of two things: parliament and the president. Parliament is an assembly of elected representatives. The elected representative supervises supreme political authority on behalf of the people. The parliament on a state level is called the legislative assembly. In a parliamentary form of government, the parliament plays a very important role, as we all know. The main role of parliament is to make laws. Parliament consists of two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is the lower house and it is the house of people, while the Rajya Sabha is the house of Council of States and it is the upper house. Lok Sabha has 552 seats, while Rajya Sabha has around 250 seats. You might think that which one is more powerful, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? It might seem that Rajya Sabha is more powerful because
if an object is immersed partially or fully in a fluid, it experiences a buoyant force that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. The volume of the fluid that it displaces is equal to the volume of the object immersed in the fluid. Okay, so what is this buoyant force?
Well, the buoyant force is the force exerted by a fluid on an object, resisting the body's weight and pushing the object upwards. As per the Archimedes principle, we can say that the buoyant force is the product of the density of fluid, the volume of water displaced, and the gravitational acceleration.
Okay, so now we will understand how things float or sink. For this, we will conduct an interesting activity.
Let's see here. We have a beaker filled with water, an iron nail, a paper ball, and a wooden piece. We'll see what happens when we drop these three items into the beaker filled with water one by one. So let's start.
Okay, so here we observe that the iron nail sank, the paper ball floated, and the piece of plywood was floating but was still immersed in the fluid. Just think why this happened.
Well, the answer is clear. Some things tend to float on a fluid when the density of the body and the weight of the body is less than the density of the fluid and the buoyant force. The net force is what makes these objects float. In other cases, like that of the iron nail, some things sink very easily in a fluid. This happens when the density of the object or the weight of the object is more than the density of fluid and the buoyant force. In some other cases, like that of the wooden piece here, sometimes some things stay completely immersed in a fluid but still float. It is interesting that this happens when both the densities are equal or both the forces acting on this system are equal.
I hope you understand all the concepts we told you. This was the end of all the basic reviews about fluids we told you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone, today we are here to perform for Student Need Conference. I am Nanda Kothari.
I am Chahajan
And I am Grin Padilla. And our today's topic is cell. So, what is a cell? Cell is a basic structural and functional unit in a living organism. Now, Chahat is going to tell us how cell was discovered.
So, cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He observed slices of coke under a bark of a tree using a simple magnifying device. Then he took thin slices of coke Then he took thin slices of coke and observed it under a microscope. Then he noticed partition boxes or compartments in the coke slices. He also noticed that one box is separated from other by a wall or a partition. Then Hope termed cell for each box.
Thank you, Chahat, for telling us about the discovery of the cell. Now, Granth is going to tell us different types of cell.
As we all know, there are two types of cells, plant cell and animal cell. They both have the same basic structure like cell membrane, nucleus, cytoplasm and vacuoles. But they also have some different parts. I am going to explain you about all the parts. Cell membrane. Cell membrane is an outer porous covering which separates a cell from another cell. It also allows transfer of material from one cell to another. Nucleus. Nucleus is a spherical structure surrounded by cytoplasm. Nucleus is also referred as the brain of cell because it controls growth and reproduction of cell. It also carries genes. Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance which gives shape to a cell. Vacuoles. Vacuoles are sac-like structure which store food, water and waste. They are naturally bigger in size in plant cell.
So, it means that there are some parts that plant cells have but animal cells does not have, which Chahat is going to tell us.
So there are two additional features in the plant cell. One is cell wall and second is plastid. So we have plastid here. Plastid are disc-like structures which helps us to give color to a plant cell. Then we have cell wall. Cell wall is an additional layer in a plant as plant need more stability, so it helps them to give more protection and strength to a plant cell. I want to tell you one more important feature of a plant and animal cell, that both of them are eukaryotic cells.
Now, a question is maybe rising in your mind that what is eukaryotic cell? So, both eukaryotic, on the basis of well-defined nucleus, there are two types of cells, eukaryotic cell and prokaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells are the cells that have a well-defined nucleus and the genetic information is enclosed within the nucleus. But prokaryotic cells are the cells that does not have a well-defined nucleus and the genetic information freely floats in the cytoplasm. So, today we have discussed about what is a cell, different types of cells, how cell was discovered, different parts of the cell, and what is the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. Thank you for listening.
Myself Shamli Gunwal of grade 8. Squaring. What is squaring? Multiplying a number by itself is called squaring. Normally, to find out the square of a number, we generally what do is 64 into 64. We multiply it like this, or we use the formula a plus b whole square. But I have an easier way. We all know to find out the square of any number, the square of 80 is 6400 and 90 is 8100. To find out the square of any number ending with 5, we write 25 at the end and multiply the first number by its next consecutive number. So we will multiply 8 by 9, which is 72. So the square of 85 is 7225. I generally do maths, I generally do calculations in Hindi, so my language will be English. Now we will calculate the square of all the numbers from 81 to till 89. First 81. We will add the square of 80 and 80 plus 81. 6400 plus 80 plus 81, which is 161. So 6400 plus 161 is 6561. So the square of 81 is 6561. You can check it on the calculator, you will find the same answer. Now the square of 82. We'll add 64, the square of 80 and 4 times 81. So 6400 plus 81 into 4. 81 into 4 is 324, 4 eggs are 320 and 4 times 1, 324. So 6400 plus 324 is 6724. So the square of 82 is 6724. Now 83. We'll subtract 4 times 84 from 7225, which is the square of 85. So minus 84 into 4. This is 344. 356. Wait. 320 plus 16, which is 336. So we subtract 336 from 7225, which is 9, 6, 11. No, I made it written 3. 336. 9, 8. So the square of 83 is 6889. Now 84. Please subtract the sum of 84 and 85 from 7225, which is the square of 85. 84 plus 85 is 169. So we subtract 169 from 7225, which is 4, 5, 0. So the square of 84 is 7054. Now 85 is done. Now we calculate the square of 86.
Shamli, just see something. 84 is right. Don't be in a hurry, it's okay. Good, you are doing very good. Aram se Shamli,
Now we calculate the square of 86. To calculate the square of 86. To calculate the square of 86, we add the square of 85 and the sum of 85 and 86. 85 plus 85 plus 86. This is 171, so we'll add 7225 and 171, which is 6, 9, 3. So the square of 86 is 7396. Now 87. इसमें 85 का स्क्वायर और 86 4 टाइम्स ऐड करेंगे. 86 into 4. This is 320 plus 24, which is 344. So 6, 5. So the square of 87 is 7569. Now the square of 88. The square of 90 is 8100. We'll subtract 4 times 89 from 8100. Which is 320 and 36, 356. So 8100 plus 356 is 8, 4, 5, 6. So the square of 88 is 84.
subject, board के subject. ये वो तो आपका सही था. वो
The square of 88 is 7744. Now 89. We subtract the sum of 89 and 90 from 100. Which is 179. 1, 2, 0 and 8. So the square of 89 is 8021. So I calculated the square, all the squares from 81 to 90. In this way, you can calculate the square of any 2-digit, 3-digit or 4-digit number. It would be very galantly if I would calculate the square of any 3-digit number. So I showed you the trick with 2-digit number. Thank you.
Annotation means. Annotation means marking or taking notes of a text in some way. We use it to make our reading effective and active. For that, we use some sort of marks and symbols. The first one is circling. In this, we circle the unknown words or the words we have never heard of. So, in the end, after reading the text, so that we can search for the meaning of the word using a dictionary. One example for this is, my life has become mundane because of all the tasks I do. Here, the word mundane is never heard by me. So, I am going to circle it and search for its meaning after reading the whole text. The next in the series is underlining. In this, we underline the words or the words which we want to remember or highlight, so that we can learn it very easily. One example for this is, the Jallianwala Bagh massacre occurred on 13th April 1919. I want to remember the date, 13th April 1919, so I'll underline that date. The next one is putting question marks. In this, we mark the parts which we do not know, so that we can ask it to the teacher after completing the whole text without any interruption. One example for putting question marks is, the Indians revolted against British. Here, I don't know I couldn't understand why did Indians revolted against British. So I am going to put a question mark over there and ask the teacher after completing the text to understand it without any interruption. Till now, we have learned about circling, underlining and putting question marks. Now, the remaining part of annotation will be explained to you by my friend Sajid. Thank you.
The next way to annotate a text is to use the letter C to mark the parts connected to what we have learned before. For example, I have learned before about the revolt of 1857 in my history book. So I used the letter C to connect it to the chapter of glimpses of past in my English book. The next way is to use the letter E to mark the evidence to support the purpose of the text. For example, I use the letter E to mark the evidences which showed me the reasons which led to the revolt of 1857. The last way to annotate a text is to use double slash to stop after one or two paragraphs and summarize them in one or two lines. Now, I hope you have a complete idea of how to annotate a text in our English classes. Thank you.